Hello and welcome to Bounty into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounty into Comics. And today I got a story about Star Wars fans obliterating Disney and Lucasfilm for endorsing Chinese slavery while condemning violence against Asian American Pacific Islanders. The official Star Wars Facebook account recently posted an image condemning violence against Asian American Pacific Islanders during the Lunar New Year, or the Chinese New Year. Fans responded to the post by calling them out for their hypocrisy and double standards, noting they actively support the Chinese government that enslaves our fellow human beings. The Facebook account posted, quote, "The celebration of the Lunar New Year has been marred by the continued wave of violence against Asian American Pacific Islanders across the United States. We have spent the last week learning and listening to our friends, colleagues, and partners who are most affected. We stand with our AAPI family and want to amplify the voices of organizations that fight for civil rights and stand against hate. Asian Americans Advancing Justice, AAJC, and Stop AAPI Hate. Please join us in supporting the important work they're doing in fighting racism." Star Wars fans en masse were not having it. Every single comment I saw was taking the brand, Lucasfilm, and Disney to task for their cozy relationship with China, as evidenced by the shrinking of John Boyega's Finn on a Chinese poster for The Force Awakens, and thanking the Communist Party of Xinjiang, where the Uyghur concentration camps are held, in their Milan movie. Many of the comments called out Star Wars and their parent company Disney for their silence on the Chinese government using the Uyghurs as slave labor. So just to kind of give you some context about that, the Australian Strategic Policy Institute estimates that more than 80,000 Uyghurs were transferred out of Xinjiang to work in factories across China between 2017 and 2019, and some of them were sent directly from detention camps. The estimated figure is conservative, and the actual figure is likely to be far higher. They aren't just enslaving the Uyghurs. The BBC recently reported that women in the camps have been systematically abused and tortured. Gulzira Al-Khan told the BBC, "My job was to remove their clothes above their waist and handcuff them so they cannot move." She added, "Then I would leave the women in the room and a man would enter, some Chinese man from outside or policeman. I sat silently next to the door, and when the man left the room, I took the woman for a shower." Al-Khan also revealed that Chinese men would pay money to have their pick of the prettiest young inmate. Not only is China enslaving the Uyghurs and physically assaulting them, but they also have a policy of kidnapping the children of their own people and selling them to orphanages. The United States Department of State reported in 2011, quote, "Kidnapping and bullying and selling children for adoption increased over the past several years, particularly in poor rural areas. There were no reliable estimates of the number of children kidnapped. However, according to media reports, as many as 20,000 children were kidnapped every year for illegal adoption. And the kidnapping was not just done by criminals, it was done by government forces, as well as documented in Amazon's One Child Nation documentary." Here's just a small example of the comments that were taking Star Wars, Lucasfilm, and Disney to task. Tracy Geimer wrote, "Seriously, it's one thing to call these people out when they do it, but when you stand with a country doing exactly what you're condemning, the words become empty. It just goes to show Disney values money over lives, except for when it's convenient." Israel Ulysses Gonzalez wrote, "If you're going to virtue signal, maybe make sure your parent company isn't making movies in China." Christopher Andrew Ryman said, "Excuse me, but is this appropriate during Black History Month? Incredibly insensitive, Star Wars. This isn't how you pander. Do better." Tom Seitz wrote, "What? Quit pandering to communist China for box office sales while they commit genocide. Rehire Gina Carano and fire Kathleen Kennedy." Matt McElhaney wrote, "Cool. Now do China putting people in concentration camps or corporations using child labor in sweatshops? Oddly silent on that, aren't you?" Brian Cramsey stated, "If Lucasfilm and Disney are fighting racism, does that mean finally denouncing China and firing Kathleen Kennedy?" Jeremy Kadri said, "More fabricated division. Give Gina back her job. The violence and censorship of anyone who pulls back the veil needs to end." Michael Evangelo wrote, "Fire Kathleen Kennedy." Kyle Weaver said, "How about fixing your terrible management of the Star Wars universe and quit shoving this crap in our face?" Brian Wallace made reference to Coca-Cola's recent anti-white training, writing, "How much Coca-Cola was in the room when this was typed?" Andrew Resendez wrote, "Disney, your virtue signaling means literally nothing to me so long as you remain such good buddies with China with all of the atrocities they are committing. Want to impress me? Make a stand on something that goes against your bottom line. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume you're doing the bare minimum to curry favor with the public while not actually caring about any of the issues you claim to care about. Sean Lucas said, how about the violence and getting free labor from actual slaves and then thanking their masters? Does that fight racism, Disney? Vincenzo Domino wrote, Star Wars still silent so far on Chinese internment camps for the Uyghur population, still doing business with China, actions speak louder than words. Patrick Covington stated, did Disney wave to the political and religious prisoners in China while filming their movies? Pete DeRosa commented, hilarious coming from the company who endorses a certain foreign government and their use of certain re-education camps and bends the knee to downsizing minority characters from overseas marketing. Javier Cortez questioned, didn't you remove Finn from the poster to appease the Chinese? Kyle DeVac stated, Disney supports Chinese concentration camps, also fired a strong female character because she has her own opinion. They don't stand for freedom for anyone. They suppress people daily. Grayson Van Leeuwen wrote, Lucasfilm has become the evil empire. Do your part to stop spreading the hate and fire Kathleen Kennedy. Start making entertaining movies where everyone could enjoy them. Kennedy and her minions is the only one spreading hate and divisiveness. She had made certain Star Wars is not for everyone anymore. Your woke tyranny will crumble. Ironic what happens when you provide a real strong woman character. All fans, including you white men, will love and defend her. You destroyed Gina out of hate. Hashtag I stand with Gina Carano. Hashtag save Cara Dune. Snow Joseph wrote, yeah, okay, clowns. That's why you tolerate the suppression of speech from conservatives. What a joke. Brian Stankovich wrote, and yet this company is silent on China's human rights abuses. Joshua Robert Cummings stated, from the company that filmed a movie right next to a Chinese concentration. Nathan Amon wrote, and what about the concentration camps in China? Or do you believe those are just different social norms too? James Saldana commented, from the same company that filmed right next to a concentration camp in China. Nice work. So you get a clear idea of how many comments were just destroying Star Wars, Disney, and Lucasfilm and taking them to task for their hypocritical behavior. Star Wars fans are not happy, and rightfully so, with Disney and Lucasfilm. Not only have they ruined Star Wars with their sequel trilogy, but they are actively doing it while embracing the tyrannical and evil Chinese Communist Party that is committing unspeakable crimes against the Uyghurs and their own people. I want to know what you think. What do you make of this backlash against Star Wars, Disney, and Lucasfilm? Do you think we are at a tipping point? Do you think that Disney is in dire straits with their actual customers? My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounty into Comics.